It was a Thursday night, just like any other. The pubs of Birmingham were packed with people unwinding after a long day. The air was thick with laughter, the clinking of glasses, and the promise of the weekend. Then, at 8:17 p.m., a deafening roar tore through the city center. The Mulberry Bush Pub, a popular spot near the Rotunda, was instantly reduced to rubble. Minutes later, the same horror struck the tavern in the town. In a single brutal night, 21 innocent lives were extinguished, and around 182 were wounded. This wasn't just a crime. It was a scar etched into the soul of a nation. Today we look back at the Birmingham Pub Bombings of November 21, 1974, a tragedy that remains one of the largest unsolved mass murders in modern British history. Before we dive into the harrowing details of that night, and the miscarriage of justice that followed, take a moment to hit that like button. Share this episode with a friend, and subscribe to the Calendar of Crime so you don't miss future episodes. And for those who want to go deeper into the case files, analysis, and exclusive content, the Calendar of Crime is coming soon to Substack. The Provisional IRA had been active, but the scale and target of this attack were unprecedented for mainland Britain. The first bomb, a powerful device hidden in a bag, exploded at the Mulberry Bush. The blast was catastrophic, killing 10 people instantly. The second bomb detonated at 8:27 p.m. at the tavern in the town, a basement pub on New Street. This explosion was even more devastating, claiming 11 more lives and trapping many others in the wreckage. Many of those wounded were left permanently disabled, including one young man who lost both legs and a young woman who was blinded by shrapnel. The majority of the dead and wounded were between the ages of 17 and 30, including a young couple on their first date, a young woman whose boyfriend had intended to propose to her on the evening of her death, and 2 Irishmen, brothers Desmond and Eugene Riley, aged 21 and 23 respectively. The widow of Desmond Riley gave birth to his first child 4 months after his death. One of the victims, 18-year-old Maxine Hambleton, had only entered the tavern in the town to hand out tickets to friends for her housewarming party. She was killed seconds after entering the pub, and had been standing directly beside the bomb when it exploded, killing her instantly. Her friend 17-year-old Jane Davis was one of 2 17-year-olds killed in the bombings, and had entered the tavern in the town to view holiday photographs she had developed that afternoon. The immediate aftermath was chaos. Emergency services rushed to the scene, but the sheer scale of the destruction overwhelmed them. Ordinary citizens became heroes, digging through the debris with their bare hands, searching for survivors. The city was gripped by a mixture of grief, terror, and incandescent rage. The IRA later claimed responsibility, but the attack was widely condemned, even by some within the Republican movement, for its indiscriminate targeting of civilians. In the face of public outcry and political pressure, the police were under immense pressure to find the perpetrators. Within hours, 6 men, Patrick Hill, Hugh Callahan, Gerard Hunter, Richard McKilkenny, William Power, and John Walker were arrested. They became known as the Birmingham Six. They were Irishmen who had just arrived in Birmingham from Belfast, heading to a funeral in their home country. Their arrest was based on little more than suspicion and a climate of anti-Irish hysteria. What followed was a dark chapter in British legal history. The men were subjected to brutal interrogation, physical abuse, and threats, leading to coerced confessions. Forensic evidence, specifically the controversial Grease's test for explosives, was later proven to be unreliable and manipulated. Despite the flimsy evidence and the men's consistent claims of innocence, they were convicted in 1975 and sentenced to life imprisonment for the next 16 years. The Birmingham Six fought to clear their names. Their case became a cause célèbre, championed by journalists, lawyers, and politicians who questioned the integrity of the convictions. The key turning point came with the tireless work of figures like journalist Chris Mullen, whose investigation exposed the systemic failures and outright lies that had put 6 innocent men behind bars. In 1991, the Court of Appeal finally quashed the convictions. The forensic evidence was discredited, and the police's handling of the case was exposed as a travesty of justice. The 6 men walked free, their lives irrevocably damaged by the years they had lost. Their release was a moment of triumph for justice, but it also highlighted a profound failure of the British legal system. The release of the Birmingham Six meant that the true perpetrators of the bombings were still at large. To this day, no one has been successfully prosecuted for the murder of the 21 victims. The families of the victims continue to fight for a public inquiry, seeking accountability and the truth about who planned and executed the attack. The bombings remain a painful open wound for the city of Birmingham, and a stark reminder of the human cost of political violence. The Birmingham Pub Bombings are a case of dual tragedy: the horrific loss of life on that November night, and the subsequent destruction of 6 innocent lives. The calendar of crime turns, but the memory of the 21 victims, and the fight for justice for the Birmingham Six, will never fade. Thanks for watching. Please comment, share, like, and subscribe for future episodes from the Calendar of Crime.